Don't lie and say I'm insightful. No one believes that at all. All right.
With Dagobah start is that it obviously gives away 2 icons for Darkseid, which I think it's no surprise for anybody watching this. Vader is the big boogeyman running around, so giving away 2 icons to Darkseid turn for their turn 1 and then turn 2, could possibly be Vader down, even not even necessarily to a battleground to get your protection for Sense Alter control, which is a big aspect of the meta. So I go back and forth whether Dagobah is the right move, as you are able to pull, but you do give away a lot, and you can be kind of behind the 8 ball early game with that start to a fast moving and a lucky Darkseid player draw. So as with all things in games, nothing is perfect, but that definitely has its benefits as well as its drawbacks.
Oh, for sure. And it looks like Ian just got here and jumped on, so we will see what we've got. Um, so, yeah, and all right, so we do see a 5th marker start. So we do see a Twix, but it is, like you said, potentially Revo.
Bait.
Revo bait. It can definitely get revolutioned, and that could be unpleasant. And straight Dagobah, there's no starting interrupts. There's no. This is old school.
This is rock and roll, baby.
And
no jazz. This is just rock and roll.
Steve just activates and draws. Like some of this early game, that's how this is going to be. Like they need to. You need to set up, and you see Steve stop at 12. Monarch is definitely a thing.
100%. Yep.
In this era, in this format, and you're not going to see either of them draw above 12 unless something crazy is going on. Like they've got Sense Alter protection to stop the Monarch and a dude on table who's likely to succeed on that draw.
Yeah, big time.
Ian activates, throws out Yoda's hut. None of the cool PC AIs are going to be in play here, which is a little unfortunate. Like that's definitely, honestly, pretty cards is like my favorite part of a game, and definitely my favorite part of our current meta. Decipher's graphics team was amazing, and these cards were absolutely gorgeous on release. Like they were the gold standard, but what our guys are doing in the PC graphics team is so much better. There's a Darkseid Mos Eisley. The Mos Eisley surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe you're trying to convert his more than anything. Is why you put it in the deck.
And that's what I'm thinking, but I feel like putting it down unless he's confident that Ian is not running that feels a little risky. That being said, we also see Darth Vader with Vader's lightsaber going down to Lars' farm. He's threatening a drain of 3, along with having that Sense Alter protection you talked about.
Yep. He's also +1 for his lightsaber swings there. So unless Lightside has an answer, usually kind of Smokescreen is the big punch out Vader card in the meta.
Because Cloud City, you can get the 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yep.
Yeah, Vader's going to be rough to deal with there. Like, you might actually see some controls just to cancel the drains. So, because that's like you said, it's a drain of 3. He adds 1 to each of his saber draws. He adds 1 to his battle destiny. Ian's got to find something out. Although Ian maybe is just going to say, let's do the opposite. Throws down the Carbonate Chamber. That's also a drain +1. And maybe he's just going to go there. Nope. Yoda from hand to the hut. So he's going to start subtracting 2 from attrition in battles.
There's the counter to early Vader. So does Steven have the "you are beaten" in hand?
Yep.
He might wait till the end of his next turn.
Kind of looks like Steven might not as we get an oof in chat. He's like, this is not the way he wanted this to start.
Yeah.
So
So
I will kind of highlight some of the cards, just talking about gorgeous art. Like, that's such a beautiful card. I love how great our graphics design team is, but Decipher did make some pretty things. And there is the control to cancel the force drain. And no sense from Steve for that. So that might be telling Ian he's got a chance if he wants to run some interrupts right now. Or early, this would be the time to do it. Because you definitely would have sensed that control if you could have.
yeah, unless he's only got the one to protect the. Well, I guess he's looking for alter on the. No, he's looking for sense on anything off of you or beaten. So yeah, hard to know.
Ooh, and he doesn't have the you are beaten, and he only draws to 12, and then loses Vader's saber from hand. Maybe thinking Vader's gonna be safe there, and those rebels won't escape us, which is going to be the Neighboring Leads, Neighboring Canceller, and just generally useful card. Like, this was sort of the era where there was a lot of. They'd started to make some of those bullet cards a little more generally useful than they were in some of the early sets. And you definitely saw some of those come into play. So Ian's kind of subtly building a setup here. Like, he's going to be activating. He activated 10 this turn. He went to get a sight with Dagobah, so he's going to be activating at least 11 next turn. And he hasn't really deployed much, which I think he's trying to figure out his sight, although he's in a decent position right now. Like, until Steve
I wouldn't be
can find an
surprised to
answer
see.
for Fury, you could just ignore Vader. Like, fine, Vader turns into effectively a drain of 1. You know, it's 3 for him, but it's 2 for you, so.
Here comes Luke. Just like the movies.
I remember this scene where Vader killed everyone at Lars farm, and then Luke was hanging out at Cloud City.
Yep.
So
now threatening Luke, a drain of 3 on his own.
Yeah. Kind of feels bad he went with the Anakin saber from hand. He didn't get to use the Son of Skywalker text to go pull it. I remember playing back in these days, and that was a big deal. Like, Son of Skywalker being able to go pull his own lightsaber was a huge difference.
Yeah.
So here comes.
One thing I will say with this deck that Ian is playing, so with Luke on Cloud City, that leaves Obi-Wan running around still, because he's obviously only got really 2 main characters. So my guess is he's building to attack Vader with something, probably Obi-Wan with protection for Circle. So he's probably feeling pretty good being able to get Son of Skywalker down and uncontrollable fury on Vader. I would say this is kind of Lightside's game plan up until now without knowing what their hands look like.
Yeah, I would say both players were fairly happy with their setup and start right now. You did see the drain of 3, and Ian peeled 2 altars plus an Obi-Wan saber off the top of reserve deck. Oof. And then Steve decided to go the opposite way, and Steve's just like, I'm not really playing sense. Throws out There Is No Try. Drops Tarkin down with Vader, which I love. Like that, okay, you've locked that sight down. Boba Fett alone is a little. I mean, he must be sitting on Restluck Roof.
Yep.
And I pray I pronounce that in some manner that people know what card I'm talking about.
It's one with Dengar on it.
Yeah, it's the draws 2 Battle Destiny.
Yeah. So I'm not sure I agree with you with the Tarkin there. So that gives a target for Clash of Sabers on Vader and battle into Tarkin. I think if I'm Darkseid, I felt pretty comfortable with Vader alone. I think the better play with Tarkin is hope Vader stays on table. You play Tarkin after you're battled into and you counterbeat. I don't think you necessarily need it just to hold down the sight, because Vader's he's daddy, right?
Yeah.
he's doing pretty well on his own. I mean,
and that's
can't fault the player for it, but
that's a fair concept, and you're right. I think it's more. You already have the 1 saber locked down at. at Cloud City at the Carbonite Chamber, and that got nobody.
Yeah, there's your rest luck.
Confirm the rest luck roof. I just like that I could pull that one out of the old memory banks of like, oh yeah, there's that one card that. So.
Yeah, he may have been just checking to see if he had circle, if Darkside had circle, just kind of taking a look. We get the control, so trading back, going back and forth, controlling the game, no pun intended, with the drain cancelers.
See, with Tarkin there, I feel like you're not going to deploy Obi-Wan anyway, even with the circle. Like, deploying Obi-Wan there is just asking to lose force. You know, and you've already seen one Obi's saber go away.
Yeah, it's true.
Which might have been part of the, look, we can, you know, he might, that circle might just be locking him down, and especially with the +2 power from Fury. Is that an always? Yeah, so that +2 power on Uncontrollable Fury means Lightside basically doesn't have an answer for circle. The stuff you can do to get Obi to even, you can't get him even now with that +2 from Fury.
Yeah, you may be looking for just to take those guys off table. The 6 does Tarkin, and then you're hosed. So yeah, fair play. It puts Lightside in a bad position. You got to have some serious. You got to have multiple things stacked in your favor in order to be able to solve for that, for sure.
And most of them rely, like all of the Destiny adders, all still in this era, still all revolve around Luke, I think.
Yep.
It's because Life Debt was, I think, the first one that came out that wasn't a so-and-so with Luke. And that didn't come out until, I'm not even sure what set, I'll be honest. But
one of the later ones.
Yeah. Well, because, yeah, Rug Hug is Luke and...
Great card. So he goes with the stone pile, pulling 2 out of Darkside's hand. I wonder if he just chances the circle because he's pulling 2 and battles into Darkside here with 1.
Well, he doesn't have enough force right now to chance the circle. He's only got 4 active.
Got it. So where?
I think that, honestly,
for the Grim Tash. Yeah.
That might have been a just use some force. So he did draw to 13. I think he confirmed, if memory serves, there was no Monarch. Yeah, there was just an Evader, no Monarch in hand. So he felt safe for drawing to 13, and now he's just going to lose 1 to the drain. So he doesn't end up getting a Monarch drawn into him.
Yep.
So, and yep, there's the Yoda from hand.
Does he have the control this time, or is he going to eat another 3?
We'll find out. I think he's eaten 3. I do feel like Steve's in a pretty good position right here. But something like that Rustluck Roof, like, I'm not sure. If I'm Ian, I'm not positive I even go after Vader and Tarkin. Like I said, they effectively are Adreno 1 until he can cancel Uncontrollable Fury. And if you're sitting on, like, Obi-Wan plus Saber plus a Sense, going and beating up Fett feels a whole lot better.
Yeah, I agree. Unless Vader moves over, though. Then you burn your Sense on the rest lock, and you miss the, you were unlucky on your stone pile.
But you're going to have to deal with that circle one way or the other anyways. And even if Vader moves over, like, if you get, some overflow in on Fett, and then you lose Obi-Wan, who you've already lost 1 Saber for. Yep, Steve says, I don't think you have a second Grimtosh, and he draws his entire force pile. Which also tells me surprise. He might not have found... There's something he's looking for. He's lost a 3rd Vader from hand. I think he figures no one's coming after him there.
Yeah. Out of commission on and hitting that Vader and then taking Vader off table would feel real nice for Lightside.
Out of commission hitting Vader always feels good. There's never a time you're sad that is.
Yeah, you're like, that's the worst.
And they drop Slave
For
1 from
sure.
hand as well, and then I'm assuming we'll see a drain this turn, and that'll drop him below that 12 on the chance Ian draws into the Grimtash. Because if he had it, he'd have used it already. So
Definitely.
you can tell this is a older, the retro format, and both players are happily draining for 3. And there's no resistance, no nothing capping it. Like that was this era. You build your big drains and you just protect them and go pick off your guys. So I do kind of expect, and there went Hoth from hand. I'm a little surprised on that. I mean, Steve also didn't put down the 7th marker that he had in hand that got revealed on the Grimtash. I feel like he's still low on force. Like he's only activating 9. That's not a lot of force to work with if you want to deploy more than one thing a turn. And Darkside's always been a little more expensive. Like if you're going to go to space, you're talking about a Star Destroyer that costs 8 or 9. And even like he had Dengar and Bosk, like that's 8 right there. And a total forfeit of about 2, but that's a separate conversation for how Decipher designed.
Yeah, the bounty hunters don't. You can't get much for them when you're giving them away after battle.
And there's Saber proficiency on Luke, so Ian is all in on. I'm going to sit on this now. The stall on Gem.
Yeah, does he have the altar?
Says that Steven's got an altar.
Yeah, at least one. Question is, are they going to battle? Is the sack war going to happen now or later?
I'm betting he probably only has one. Like, there is no try. You don't want to put that out and be losing to your own cards. If you're running really more than just a single sack.
All right, here it is.
All right.
Here comes the old man.
It looks like I may have called the action a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh! And an angry Wookiee. That tells me Obi might not have a saber coming. Like, you need Chewie at that point just to offset Boba's forfeit, so now you're back to you sense Restluck Roof, and anything you draw for Battle Destiny is overflow.
Yeah, I'd be curious if he has the smoke screen here, which would be huge. Guaranteed 6.
It would be, but at the same time, that I guess if you have the saber, I feel like that's the go after Vader play. There's the second stone pile, so he just says, "I'm gonna effectively."
He's hoping to hit that.
For 2. He's hoping to hit the circle, but honestly, like
that's my guess.
He's also just killed 4 cards from Steve's deck. Like, that's a solid kill. And here's the battle at Mos Eisley. I assume here's the Restluck Roof to add. So just one. I thought Restluck was 2. And there's the sense targeting Yoda.
And Steven, if he had the altar, doesn't use it on the sense there. So my guess is maybe Ian hit it with the stone pile.
Yeah, so if Bounty Hunter is defending, or if Boss, Greedo, or Boba Fett is defending a battle alone, add 2. So he should have added 2. Maybe he didn't hit the. May have been a pop-down menu that he didn't have a chance to hit. And there is the smoke screen for the 6.
Yeah.
So he's at 17 to 5. Boba Fett forfeits for 6, I believe.
That's massive. Does he have the? Yeah. Does he have the Gick here?
I mean,
he does forfeit for 6.
Like it would have been way worse with the saber.
Yeah.
He does not have the Gick, so he's just peeling, and he's peeling Nabran answers. He just lost the Utugutusola. He lost the.
As your sniper.
Rebels won't escape us earlier.
And the Nabran. Oof.
Yeah, that
was big for light side.
That was a big battle. Ian hit that one very well. Now, and what is always the question is, what does Steve do for a counter beat?
Right.
Does he have
with 6 cards? That's tough.
Yeah, but like if he's got the circle, that 6 cards is more than enough.
Well, unless Ian's sitting on 4 senses.
Yeah, wow, that's there goes the Clash. There goes the Sense off reserve. And he lost the Cloud City Lower Corridor, which was one of my favorite sites.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Back in the day for a late game. You're just like, all right, dude with a saber. They're super high power and they drain for 1 million. Have fun. There's the little walker. Oh, that's fun.
Oh, going for the...
I love Trample. I love Trample so much. And
and he hits
it. Squishing a Wookiee. I like it. All right. So now you got Obi alone there. It still feels like... I don't know if I'm Steve, if I want to drop a ton of, drop a dude in a pilot, and you're still probably losing that dude, and you're maybe clearing Obi, but, like, Obi's immune to 5. That's tough to
and Destiny is horrible in this point. I mean, like, with sights running around and stuff. So here's the question. Does he have the circle?
So here's the Vader.
Although he probably doesn't. Probably doesn't. If he had it, he wouldn't have played the Walker because he would have wanted to battle into Chewie alone.
No. Well, yeah. No, because he wasn't going to battle into Chewie alone anyways because he had to move. So I actually like that Walker play so he can put... Because Blizzard Scout 1 reacts anywhere. So you put Tarkin on Blizzard Scout 1. If he battles into Obi, it's a... Yeah. Or if Obi battles into Vader, you react over with Tarkin. If not, you sit on that Draina 2.
Yep.
Like, and you force him to move. Like, he's putting Ian on a...
There it is.
There's the circle. He had to draw into it, so... And there's the sense.
Yeah, and he's got to have the control. Yep.
And that was the only sense. So,
yeah, that might be... That's tough from here on in for light side with Obi off table now. You don't have a whole lot, and with dark side strong on Tatooine... Here,
So
Ian giving the nice.
Here's the thing, though. When you look at this now, Steve's draining for 4. He's draining for 2 and 2, and he owns Tatooine. And you just say, okay, you've got Tatooine. Ian's also draining for 4 and causing 2 damage with Uncontrollable Fury. And they're basically even on cards right now.
Yeah, I would point out, though, that Steven is draining at 2 separate sites, which means you need 2 controls to cancel it, where for dark side, you only need 1, which makes kind of a difference. And You Are Beaten is not, Uncontrollable Fury, you got to believe Steve's got at least a copy of You Are Beaten that we haven't seen yet. So that's not going to be there forever. Whereas getting Tarkin or Vader off the site is a lot more heavy lifting for light side.
Agreed. This is not a... It's not a spot where if I'm Steve or Ian, I'm saying, oh, I'm super comfortable right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also not a spot where if I'm Ian, I'm saying, well, I lost.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, the map
no scooping yet.
Still okay in his favor. So we see a pull and a grab because we don't know what, sounds like the stone piles, he got a little lucky. And unfortunately, he's had to use the sense on the Restluck roof, which meant he only had 1 for the control, or for the circle. And it did get controlled, but that's also now 2 controls that Steve's lost. So how many does he have left for canceling drains?
What I'd like to see from light side would be like the Hoth War Room, or I guess, no, it works the other way. I'm thinking of Responsibility Command, but light side doesn't have that. Just kidding.
Yeah. Put out the War Room, Responsibility Command, Vader, because you got it sold to you by Trevor Horme, and I don't know.
There you go.
So we see
that's
Leia,
a conversation for a different time.
Leia go down with Luke.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that. I'm not sure. Maybe
he's telegraphing a Skywalker's and probably trying to find a Nabron.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like that, because Leia's got the deployment restriction where she is only deployed to Cloud City, you've got to put her there anyways.
Unless you're going to Hoth, which you don't with just the Twix there.
So,
nope, I agree.
That might be... I think he's telegraphing he's either got or looking for a Nabron. It's really a question of what he's doing with it. So if he is going to send them both and go try and take down Tarkin, or do something fun and like neighbor and Leia to the ice planes and start draining, adding
Not
another drain
terrible.
to 2.
Yeah,
There's
with
the Obi-Wan from hand. That seems like a solid loss.
yep.
And
With
Obi-Wan
dark
from
side,
hand.
yeah, I'm not surprised. With dark side only generating 9, the walkers are kind of the big other piece for the dark side run. So Leia to the Hoth planes wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world, but that's not going to win you the game, I don't think.
Yeah, it'd be an added drain of 2. The walkers, like we talked about, Steve's got 3 cards in hand and he's only activating 9 a turn.
Yep.
Like a walker plus a pilot is 9 force.
Exactly.
And there's no single. I mean, Blizzard 2, I guess, plus a pilot would get you a Battle Destiny, but the empty walkers won't. He had Blizzard 1 already, and that wouldn't have drawn Battle Destiny with just that 9 force.
Yep.
So
you can do Ozzel on the 2 ability 2 pilot that gets you there, but that's like perfect hand with 2 cards. Interesting with the decree with
like
no.
that play.
Yeah, I don't either. I sit on that.
Yeah, you're just going to lose that force because there's no way you don't have any systems in play, and you only have 1 Rebel base site that no one's at.
Yep.
Like, that card's not helping you. I would have held that until I could use it to help me.
Totally.
Or just pitched it to a drain because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not impactful. There's the You Are Beaten. Now, do we have another sense? Yep. There's the sense.
Does he have the control, though? Yeah.
He has the control. Do we have another sense?
He runs a fair amount. Yep. That's big.
But it also means that control is not getting used to cancel the drain of 4.
Correct.
Which we're back to they are even on damage right now, 4-4.
Yep.
And Ian has 21 cards total to Steve's 20. Like, it is still an extremely close game that I think somebody's got to do something to try and push the math a little bit.
Yeah. I think your Nabram over, this would be the turn to do it. He's probably not going to get less than 9 cards in hand. I mean, maybe late game, but the ship may have already sailed by the time you got Steve with less cards in hand as he has now.
Yeah.
And he didn't save anything for Uta Guta solo because he already burned it. So,
and Ian,
aside from sense from dark side,
Ian did not activate the maximum. He only activated 8, leaving himself 6. 6 sure reads like 1 for Nabrun, 2 to swing, 2 for 3 Battle Destinies with Skywalkers.
Yep.
And now the question is, do you go after Tarkin then, or do you go after Vader?
Since Tarkin is not in the walker, I go after Tarkin and try to swing at him.
Yep, hit Tarkin.
If it were me,
you can overflow.
Yeah, I don't love that Steve left Tarkin out of the walker. I think you put him in at the end of your move phase last turn in anticipation of Lightside coming over.
Yeah, so I think he left him out of the walker because with the react rules, he could jump on the walker at the start of the react, and he's slightly
interesting.
He's slightly more power out of the walker than in. So
can you yeah,
that would be the reason to go after Tarkin.
Yeah, so, clash on Tarkin. I don't know if they were asking for Ian to have a lot of cards in all the right pieces, but clash on Tarkin, battle into the walker, no destiny.
That would be brutal.
Or swing into Tarkin, hit him,
and there
flash.
Is the Nabram.
No. All right, for 2.
Cost him 2.
Does Steve have sense?
I don't think he does. I'll be honest. I was gonna say I think Steve is not sensing anything. I think he's sticking
just
with
control.
So just Luke.
So no Skywalkers.
Well, there may be a different character plus adder in his hand.
Oh, with here we go. Hit him.
Sorry on Tarkin.
Let's go, Ian.
I still feel like.
Oh, the destiny hurts.
That was.
Come on.
Welcome to Star Wars in the this era. That's a little unfortunate. So now we know we're not seeing an adder I'll be honest. If I'm Ian, I think I still start the battle.
He's got to.
Like
I mean,
you battle, you hit Tarkin, you wipe out the Walker, and then maybe you play the walk around Vader game while
yep,
you're each draining for 2. Because Leia's sitting there still draining for 2.
yep.
And honestly, like, you don't necessarily need to walk that scary around Vader as Luke's power 8.
Does he play Obsession though? Move over with Vader, play Obsession, hope you draw big,
I
and
was just saying,
call the game there.
hope you draw, because like in this era, that's Vader's obsession
Not a
without a
sure thing.
reactor terminal is a that's a gutsy play. I'm gonna be honest. That's not a play I
Yep.
would make.
Me neither, but it's cool when it happens.
I like the idea, but that feels like these guys are 4-0 for a reason. They're not playing blind luck draws like you and I do. Like, oh, maybe this works. Let's see what happens. So thematically, it'd be great, but
especially coming from Mos Eisley's to the farm, that would be very thematic.
There's tunnel vision, so Ian must be looking for something.
Yeah, one nice thing with Dagobah we didn't mention, it's like one of the few times you can actually look into your deck, into your reserve. There's only a handful of ways in this format to do that. So that is an auxiliary benefit for the Dagobah start.
And I wonder if he's grabbing the Clash and just, I'm going to battle, I'm going to hit Tarkin, I'm going to Clash him out.
Nope.
And kill the
sniper.
Yeah. I already used the Sorry and missed.
Oh, sorry. My mistake. Sniper meaning I battle, hit you, and make him go away. That's a free hit.
Could be a blaster proficiency.
True.
Which would have the same impact, but it cost him a force.
Oof, he's got all characters.
Han is...
He's got a hit here. There it is.
I was going to say, I think he put a couple back with traffic control lapse terms, so there should have been hits. Those Hans were in a bad spot, though. I think he's upset at Han right now.
Yep. Now, so does he have the Clash?
Does he have a Clash or a Blaster Pro? Or is he just going to count on Steve won't draw a 6? Because that's the thing, is anything less than a 6, Son lives. Because Luke's immune to less than 4, and then you subtract 2 with Yoda, and you're just like, I could see holding that card to use for the next battle, because it's not going to impact this battle. You're unlikely to lose. You're wildly unlikely to lose Luke. Yep, and that's what
he's just got terrible destiny. I mean, the 5 there was nice, but he's had ones all game.
But that's this era. Like, I don't even know how to say it nicely. Like, that's bad destinies happen.
I think that's what makes Smokescreen so powerful, because you can sub and you get around the GMT and Vader combo. Yep. It's like one of the sure ways to make an impact.
Yeah, no, it definitely, Smokescreen was a huge card back then, and honestly, it still comes close to making the cut in a lot of decks. Like, decks that are running Jedi Masters, drawing a 7 is good, I heard.
Somebody told me once that's a good thing.
So, and Ian's just going to draw some here. I expect we'll see a drain of 2, and the first card he's going to lose is going to be that Obi-Wan Saber off the top.
Yeah, in spite. Didn't feel good in doing it.
Underneath that, he's got 5, 1, 1, 1.
Yeah.
And those ones are not what he wanted. He saved 2, which is
quite a mercenary.
Or Clash.
Yeah. Or
Either way, he's absolutely telegraphing I have an answer, and it might be a bluff. Like, he might not have the answer, but you have to bluff the answer. So if you draw into not having it, your opponent just knows they can do it. So Steve only gets to activate. Looks like Steve's thinking, so he might be trying to think about a Ellis sniper, or even just an Ellis on top of Leia, and deliver something of an overflow. Like, you're effectively 7-3 in power with Vader's +1 to the draw. You hit her, and that's force.
Trying to think of what Lightside's answers could be. Like, he peeled the 1 lower corridor, So maybe he's thinking he's got the two Hans in deck, lower corridor with Han and Wedge, although I thought I saw Wedge peeled earlier.
He lost
I mean,
Wedge earlier. He lost Wedge. He lost Kessel. Like, I think that might be also what Steven's trying to figure out right now is what's the answer I have
right.
for what he, what I think Ian's going to do after I take my action.
Yeah. I would almost, like, if I'm dark side, maybe Blizzard Scout and Ozzel on Luke and just sit him there, don't battle, block his drain of 4, and make light side battle into you to try to clear the site.
Blizzard Scout and Ozzel don't draw Destiny, though.
Which is the one that's Blizzard 2
Blizzard
or
2,
whatever.
Blizzard 2 and Ozzel sitting on Luke and saying it's going to be Destiny versus
Come at me,
Destiny.
bro.
I'd be totally okay with that.
Yep.
So, are we going to see the reverse? Just here's an Ellis into a sniper into a battle if I miss? Steve only
6 cards left.
Yeah, Steve activates 5. Here's a drain of 2. Obi Saber off the top.
Probably 1 from hand.
Guest quarters from hand. And Obi
Saber
Saber
from
off
hand.
the top. All right.
Yep.
So now the downside of
there it is.
So now the downside of Ellising is wherever you send Vader, Vader dies to Battle Destiny.
Does he have the QAM? Quite a mercenary.
I'll be honest, I almost don't care. Like, if you drop Vader there, you start this battle, Vader dies to the Battle Destiny. That Battle Destiny is a 2, or is a 5.
Yep.
You just don't swing. That being said, Ian's got to remember that.
As you said, 4-0. I got to imagine he knows, but we'll see.
I'd imagine, but I've seen crazy plays occasionally. So there's a
4.
5. Well, it's 5.
Oh, yeah, 5 because of +1. Yeah.
He's dead.
Oh, and an O.
5 and a 1.
He doesn't care there. He's like, fine, I'll take it.
He's like, it's going to be a 1. It doesn't matter. Now, what is Ian's thought? I think if I'm Ian, I just eat the battle. Like, fine, draw your Destiny. I'll draw my 5. I'll drain for 2 with Leia and force you to have an answer next turn. Like, you're not taking Overflow with Luke. I think you might have seen the Quite a Mercenary used if you were going to take Overflow. Well, I think the Quite a Mercenary would have been used either way because that just kills Vader.
Yep.
So I think he's sitting on Clash. Oh, now you got to think. That got bad now. The I Have You Now is going to add 2 Battle Destinies, and they're each +1. So now it's effectively power 9 to power 8. Steve gets 3 draws to Ian's 1-5.
And that 5 is the forest is strong with you, so unlikely he has that in hand.
Yeah.
But he's running 2 of them.
So I wonder if it looks like action's back on Steve. I wonder if Ian's sitting and going, do I want to just you are beaten out of this battle, or not, Clash out of this battle, just to avoid the overflow?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be at 13 total power to 9 plus 3 Destiny. Now, the Destiny might not be great, but I'm confident Steve's going to crack 4 in 3 draws. So now you're starting to eat overflow. All right, we don't see.
Maybe he waits.
You can't do it. You can't do it now. Now he's drawing Destiny. So.
Got it. Okay, I was going to ask.
So there's the 4. So now whatever he draws here is straight overflow. All right, so it's 2. That's not terrible. Honestly, taking the 2 to knock Vader off table isn't bad.
Yep. And Steve lost a couple of Vaders earlier too, so yeah.
Steve was
hard to know
early.
Yep.
He may still have 1. Like, I think he peeled 2, and then he's had this one on table forever.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what Ian's thinking about right now. Like, this is a pretty straight answer. Yes, I want to draw my 5 for Battle Destiny.
Maybe he's just filling his coffee.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to, like, there's, oh, and Ian's wondering.
Yes, Ian, you did.
Right? Yes, you did.
We can confirm.
We're comfortable you did.
Watch it. All three of us be wrong.
Also very possible. So, my wife's upstairs, so she might not hear me being wrong, but I'm confident I'm still capable of being wrong.
Amen to that.
So, let's see.
There it is. There it
It is.
Attaboy, Ian. Give yourself some credit.
Appropriately, and I'm betting that 2 force is going to be both Hans right off the top.
Yeah.
Reducing the attrition is immaterial. You're still just losing 2 battle destiny or 2 battle damage. But I would expect it to be the 2 Lukes or the 2 Hans right off the top, and then that leaves the last one as Luke. Because I don't think those Hans are impactful. You're not going to you're not going to space. Han is not very important on the ground. Like, he's not terribly impactful on the ground, although causing a redraw. Oh, he loses the lower corridor and the Falcon from hand. Okay, neither.
He's not going to space.
Impactful either. Yeah, space. You're done with space. Yep. The lower corridor wouldn't hurt to have another drain site, but at the same time, it would have given Steve force, and there's already multiple drain sites on table. Like, if you want a site you drain for 2 at, you just go to Mos Eisley.
Well, but deploy restrictions are still a thing. So yeah. Son of Skywalker can only go to Cloud City. So that becomes, in essence, a dead card without another site there. And aside from guest quarters and lower corridor, I don't know what else light site runs on Cloud City.
And there's another Anakin Saber from hand on Leia, so we're staring at a drain of 3 in response, and Steve's only got 1 card in hand.
Yeah. Like, maybe it's control.
Steve's got 12 cards down and 1 in hand. Ian's got 10 down right now and 4 in hand, but he's drawing a few. I assume trying to grab into Luke to protect Leia.
Although, yeah, you're probably right. Getting close on how much force he's got to be able to battle.
I'm not sure he got there, but he is in a good position. Like, Vader coming down on Leia is fine right now, but we know that bottom destiny is a 5, so if he comes at Leia, we're going to draw battle destiny. And
so Steve's saying, I'm going to spread now.
Steve's saying YOLO. Steve says, I don't think you have enough guys to come after and hurt Dengar.
So does Ian float the single copy of Farm Boy to give him some answer to Tatooine? I've seen it played. It's hard to know.
Yeah,
I think it's unlikely, but that would be about all.
I just had to zoom in on Dengar because I remembered he did something with power. So Dengar is power +1 for each opponent's character present, and he can reduce Han's forfeit to 0. So Ian's got to have some sort of answer, but he's only got 6 force to work with and 6 cards in hand. Like, do we just see hey, I'm going to drain for 3, and that's cute. You can spread and have your drain of 2. I'm ahead in cards, and I'm going to force it through. So we see another decree go away. I'm curious. Multiple decrees with, I guess he had Hoth. He had some Hoth sites. I guess he had ways to set it up, but
here we go.
There's Nabron.
He's thinking he's going to end it here.
Yeah. Well, he's going to draw Battle Destiny, and Dengar doesn't get one. Like, unless Steve has the Rest Luck Roof. If he runs a second one and hits it here, that'll be amazing. Like, I still think Ian's slightly ahead on cards, but that would be pretty fun. Because he's not hitting Dengar.
Well, and he's not, and he also can't sense because he's only got the one card, which is the 5. I'm assuming he's tracked it.
Honestly, I think if that is the case, I think you still sense it. You sense it and say, okay, fine, we're even on power. Doesn't look like it, though. Yep, just straight Battle Destiny. So Dengar.
Well played, Ian.
Dengar +2, and the +2 kind of locks Steve out of any sort of threat. Like, Steve now has enough force, he could lose 1 from hand and 1 from life.
Oh, peeling the Zuckuss is
2 from life, including a Zuckuss, so he's only got 5 force to deploy anything.
Oh, wow. Sandy thinks that's good game.
And I think it is.
And he calls it.
That was well played. I mean, Ian played that very well, working through the circle, getting through everything he had to force through. That was fun. I mean, it's definitely a back in the day sort of thing. And you guys do a lot of talk about the retro formats and stuff on the Discord, right? The book club.
Correct. Yep.
So that's definitely if you enjoy this kind of retro format, obviously the PC's always running different events. You can always play retro on GEMP, but if you want to chat about it, want to talk about the format, and just the game played different back then. It was a little bit slower, a little bit more luck involved, a lot less auto setup kind of stuff. The book club's definitely a good spot to do it, and I think you play tonight, don't you?
I do. I'm also 4-0. I'm playing teammate Eddie, which will be a good game. I am dark side, playing against him, so we'll see how it goes. Excited to catch this game. Happy to see Ian, who's also another teammate, get the W against our illustrious tournament director, Steven.
I was going to say, Steve was running this, and he's done a heck of a job, and
sure has.
Getting everybody going. And I know I'm not going to be streaming your game because, well, you got up super early to do this, as it's, I think, about 2 a.m. Portland time, if my understanding of time zones is correct. You guys are playing late for me because I'm old, and starting to stream a game at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night is not something I can do on a school night, on a night when I
understood.
In the morning. So, but definitely good luck.
Thank you.
In your game, hopefully folks get in and check out Discord, check out Slack, check out the forums. There's so many ways to be involved with the game, connect with other players, chat with folks. It's just a great way. And I think the only other thing we got going on is the tournament that just started, the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary stuff. Have you looked at any of that yet?
Can't get into the format. It's the pod racing seems like a pretty broken mechanic, and I'm focusing. So after that, we're going to take a hiatus for the retro tournament, and then start up again with Premiere through Endor. So I think I'm going to sit out the kind of in between tournament, and then pick back up when the retro tournament kicks off again. And then we're talking about in the book club, shout out to Ando, we're talking about doing some sort of achievement-based, friendly kind of league for us where you like build decks and blow up the Death Star and get points for it and things like that. Do some thematic things as opposed to just trying to win the game. So see if that materializes, but happy to shift focus a little bit.
Decipher actually did that in the retro era. There was in the Cloud City era, they had a whole series of tournaments that were like that.
Oh, cool.
And you could actually get, they worked around victory points, because I remember Matt Potter, actually world champion, came down to an event and was very upset because he went 4-0 and no game was close, but he lost the tournament to someone who went 1-3 and filled out all these different weird, like, played Trooper Assault with Vader, and it was just a ton of random stuff, but you got enough points on it that it offset even losing. And this guy just went super thematic decks, and it was, I think there's a reason Decipher only did it once. But like I said, there was definitely some bad feelings when Matt rolled the tournament, because he was an outstanding player, and had no shot of winning it because some guy played like Talon Roll in the clouds and stuff like that. But it was great fun to see, and I love interesting things like that. So, well, I will tell you good luck tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm going to go have some breakfast and talk to you guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope everyone has a great Sunday, and we'll see you next time.